so much for joining me again. If you don't mind, we are going to kind of jump backwards. The last time we talked about the first sacrifice in the garden after sin had entered the picture and shame had entered the picture. And we kind of skipped down to the end of chapter 3, verse 21. But I want to back up to actually chapter 3, verse 16 and hit on the curse of the woman, because obviously I think that's very important to discuss. But we're going to kind of approach it in a twofold manner, which may get me tarred and feathered. I don't know. But that verse, we're going to talk about the second part of that, chapter 16. It says that I will surely multiply your pain and childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. I want to zero in on the word desire. Now, every commentary that's out there, every theologian out there is going to say the same thing, that verse is specifically referencing the woman's curse is that she will have to submit to the husband. That's not the curse. Submitting is not a curse. Submitting is an order, and it's an order in the way that God did things, and it's a good order. Submission is not a bad thing. Christ submitted to God by coming to this earth and taking the form of a human body. So why should we not follow that example and be willing to submit as well? Submission is not bad. Submission is God ordained and it's God ordered. I completely agree with every theologian that says that verse has to do with submission. That what the struggle will be is that the woman will want to get things out of order, that we will want to take control back away from the man, that we will want to lord over the man. And if you are a woman or a girl who has tried in the last, day to live, at some point you've probably tried to take control over a situation or lord over a situation. It's just, that's part of our curse, is that we no longer are just able to submit, that there's something in us that desires to kind of, for anybody that's got kind of that competitive tendency like me, like it's a struggle too. And that I agree with the theologians that is a huge major part of our curse. However, as a woman, I tend to look at that verse a little differently. I tend to look at the word desire a little differently. When I hear your desire shall be for your husband, it's not just my desire will be to control him or to rule over him. I look at that word desire, and in a word study, I studied that word, and in the Hebrew the word is teshuka. I know I'm not saying that right because I have Southern Alabama dialect, so forgive me, but I can tell you what the verse means, and it means a craving or a longing. That particular Hebrew word is used 3 times in Scripture. That's it, just 3 times. The first time is right here in Genesis 3:16. The second time is chapter 4, verse 7, which we're going to discuss a little bit in the next segment. And then again in Song of Solomon 7:10, I am my beloved's, and his desire is for me. Again, that's the same word, desire. It's a longing between a man or a woman or a man, or the longing of a beast to devour. Now, I don't know about you, but when I read that verse, it's not just about trying to get out of order submission. When I hear the word desire, I think there's something inside every woman that beats, and we have this kind of hole that says we have to have a man. It is ingrained in us from a very early age that we need a boyfriend, that we need fiance, we need a husband. And there are obviously exceptions to that, but for the majority of us, we go through our lives feeling like our worth oftentimes comes from a man, that our worth oftentimes comes from having someone like a boyfriend or a husband in our life, just someone to be dating, somebody that values us. And no doubt, much of our worth can come from someone who loves God and then loves us. But there is also this tendency to feel like if you don't have that, that you must be unlovable, that undesirable. And so we kind of have this constant search of, I have to have the man. That's what I heard one pastor say. We kind of have like the antennas up, like gotta have the man, that we're constantly on the look because there's something inside of it that desires that feels like we have to have that. And so I think that our curse is almost twofold. And again, I'm jumping out on a limb here to say this, but that word desire just, I don't know if it just means something differently to a woman, if we interpret it differently, if looking through and seeing where else it's used in scriptures just kind of twists that double meaning for me. No, again, no doubt there is an issue of submission and feeling like we need to take over the role of leader, and we have to check that daily. But I think even before then, we also have to check the fact and keep ourselves in check daily that we're not going out and desiring the man more than we are God. That we've not allowed the man to become our first love above our Creator, because it is there that we get into a lot more danger. That is kind of the first danger, if you will. And so today I just want you to take some time, especially for those that are women, not to single you out, guys, but for the women. Double check yourself. Ask God to reveal to you if you're single, even if you're married. Do you have this lifestyle that I have to have the man? Like, I've got to have a man. And if you do, you know, being the guy crazy girl, like, we'll deal with that some later. But go ahead and start asking God to search your heart now to deal with those issues. And then perhaps maybe your struggle is more with the foundational curse of wanting to lord over, wanting to take control, wanting to be in charge, wanting to not submit but kind of overstep your order. So those are two major issues, and I believe they all go back to the curse. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel to find out when the next Bible study comes out, because we're going to go into that a little deeper. Also, follow the blog. I would love to have you come back and join us again.